What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? You are in tune to the Dre Morset podcast, and it is a Sunday afternoon, probably about 2 o'clock. And we got a great show for you today. But before I even get started into the show, hey, we hit a new all time high. We got 1,800 views on my last episode of Do Black People Hate Each Other? And listen, I really appreciate the comments. I really appreciate people liking and subscribing. Yo, it meant the world to me to people be able to view that and have real detailed conversations about that or detailed comments. It was just a great feeling to feel that people really understood what I was saying, and I wasn't really trying to bring down the culture. I was just trying to say, hey, this is what I've been seeing for so long, and I've lived long enough to be able to speak on these aspects of what I see with my own culture. So, but that was perceived very, very well, and I respect that, man. I mean, from women to men, I respect it all across the board. So I was really happy with the turnout. Um, it's still moving up right now. It's currently like 1,800. I think in 20. I think 1822 or something like that, and have over 103 likes and 98 comments. So, man, let's keep it moving. This is just I mean, I've been doing this about a year and a half now, and I told myself in 2024 that I wasn't gonna have no filter. I just was going to explain to the people what I see, how I see it from my lenses. And if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But I got to put out the truth. I'm not one of those shows that's going to get credibility off telling mistruths or misleading informations. That's not what we're here for. And I just appreciate people being able to understand that. So, again, I appreciate everybody. I want you to continue to like, subscribe, and comments. I've gained over maybe 55 new subscribers. I'm at 200, almost 200. I'm at 199. So overall, I'm just happy with that whole circumstances, man. I'm glad people like what they're seeing. Today, today is going to be a show about inspiration, man. This is what this show is going to be about. It's about inspiration. So I have a friend of mine who goes by the name of Montel Johnson. Mantel Johnson. I'm sorry, Mantel. Mantel Johnson. And he comes into the barbershop, and one of the barbers that I've been cool with since I've come to Orlando in '08, named Chris, is his barber. And man, I seen this brother's transition from, just, being at a certain weight and coming in on a walker. I seen this guy, transform his mind and his body. So, I thought it would be a great, great inspiration to people who have any ailments, any issues physically, or any physical challenges that you saying, I can't do this. This brother right here is an example of no excuses whatsoever. And so many people make excuses of why they can't reduce their weight, lose weight, or get into the gym, or better their body, better their mind, eat better, until the doctor says, hey, you ain't got no choice. You better do what you got to do, or you're going to be on your way out of here. And I'm so proud to see this guy's transition from where he was to where he's at now. So without further ado, on the podcast, Dre Morset podcast show, we have my man, Mantel Johnson. What's up, Mantel?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to finally have you on here, man. I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I'm just glad you're here. And I want you really to speak to these people and let them know, man, no matter what the physical challenge is, you can get to where you want to be.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's start off with this. Mantel, tell me a little something about you. Tell the people about a little something about who you are as a person, and where you come from, and just a little something about you as a person first, so they can get an idea.
Well, I am. I'm a married man. I've been married now for about 23 years, living in Orlando. I have a son. He's about 29 years old. Myself, I moved here in 2000, and then I became somewhere in there. I became physically challenged. I developed a condition which is severe arthritis in both knees, which means basically I have knees of a 90-year-old man.
Wow.
And there has been a lot of challenges with that. And I mean, even from not being able to go to work anymore and take care of my family properly, like most men would get up and do. So, didn't have any counseling in that. Um, and it took some time for me to get where I'm at now. Um, Pretty much, I want to say my younger years, I had my mind, my attitude, first of all, was messed up. So the first thing that I had to correct is my attitude. And by me correcting my attitude, then I also fixed my mindset, because I was the one that was always walking around anti everything, negative. Even when I was receiving information that could have helped me, I wasn't where I was at a place where I was ready to receive that. So I should have been that way. Maybe some of the stuff I could have avoided, but hey, we live and learn, right?
Right.
So I'm
Let,
just
let me not to cut you off. No, I want people to know this. Before you started your journey, of where you at now, man, people have no idea. They have no idea, but I'm gonna paint a picture for them. When I used to see Mantel come into the barbershop that I cut at is called Ace of Spades. It's a big barbershop. One of my closest friends owns a barbershop. So I say the barbershop in length, I would say about what you say, Mantel, about 50 yards in length.
yes.
So 50 yards in length is the barbershop just to get to his barber, which is Chris, right? So Mantel would come into the barbershop, and he was on a walker. And literally, I believe, and I could be wrong on the math or, kind of off. It would take Mantel to get to the door, to get to Chris' spot. Chris cuts right across from me. So we're about 50 yards from the door. It took Mantel about, and I say about anywhere from 38 seconds to about 48 to 50 seconds to get from the door to where Chris is at. And he had a walker. So, and it was like a struggle. I seen him struggling, and y'all have no idea. I wish y'all can paint the picture of the struggle that it took, and probably the pain that it took from him to get from the door to Chris's chair. So, Mantel, tell me how that felt. Tell me how that journey. How did you get to the point where you were actually on a walker at a young age?
Okay. So I developed the arthritis condition in my 20s, right? And like I said before, I was working and everything all the way up until I couldn't work anymore. So, um, quite naturally, when you're not able to work anymore, and I wasn't doing any type of workout, and I didn't have really good eating habits neither. So, going from not working to just sitting at home and consuming all the wrong foods and drinking the alcohol and smoking cigarettes and all that type stuff like that, well, that caused a weight gain. And that's how I gained most of my weight, is basically not able to work but sitting at home. I was already heavy. And when you have needs of a 90-year-old man and you're not moving and getting any exercise, that is a cause for disaster. So the bad eating habits, not exercising, before I knew it, I had really put on some weight.
How much
And
weight? How much weight, Mantel?
I
What's your
was
head
at
weight?
455 pounds. And uh, my dad is actually the one who bought me the walker, because prior to that, I was using the cane, and the cane was not helping. But when I got the walker, it was a bigger walker for a person that's anywhere from 500 to 450 pounds.
Hmm.
So I just barely made the cut on the walker. The I want to say the struggle with that is when my dad got me the walker, I couldn't even at first even I wasn't even strong enough to put the walker in the back of the car. I needed help doing that, which my son helped me when he was here. And when my dad came down, he helped me too.
Right.
This a lot of your a lot of my daily basic things I wasn't able to do like a regular person could do because of the weight and also because of my condition with my knees.
So what was your?
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
What was your daily routine? Like I remember we was talking in the shop, and like, what was your routine? Like once your wife, she would go to work, and everybody needs to know that he has a very, very supportive wife. Um, what when your wife went to work, what would you do all day? Like what was your routine on a daily basis?
so uh, this is how it went for me. A lot of days I would wake up and I'm hurting in pain because once again the arthritis is severe, and I was also suffering with severe depression as well. So wife is going to work. My son, at that point in time, he was either in Job Corps or AmeriCorps, so I'm home alone. I literally wasn't coming out of my bedroom until maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening to get something to eat. By this time, I'm starving because all I've been drinking is water all day. And by the way, it was so bad that I didn't even want to go to the kitchen to get water. So I would just go in my bathroom and fill up my water bottle from the bathroom sink because
Wow.
that's how bad I was hurting.
Wow.
And that right there, I want to say I guess the turnaround of that might have been, the suffering, the depression, and the pain. I I made efforts to try and do. I took my walker once I did have it and try to do a lap around my cul-de-sac and come back in because that's literally all I could do. Now,
Right.
as far as the food goes, what I did with that was
Hold on, hold on,
there.
hold on, hold on. Before you tell them the flip side of that, uh, like when you were at your, at I don't want it, when you was at your worst, internally, how was you feeling, and did you have a support system around you to say, hey, don't get to this point, it's gonna be cool. So at your worst, I want you to clock into things you saw at your worst as the person experiencing that, whether it was coming to the barbershop, when you would go out to eat, when your wife and son were away, what would you do? Like, what was you feeling at your worst? Explain that. I want people to understand. This is what I want people to understand, that even when you see somebody, they may be overweight, you never know what they're experiencing personally. You never know, because people, oh man, you need to just stop eating. That ain't always the case with some people. So I want people to understand that, hey, listen, what you're seeing on the outside may not be the case on the inside. So we can't judge everybody's situation according to what we think is the issue is. So what I want you to tell these people, man, I want you to tell these people what you was experiencing when you were coming to the barbershop, or when you were like, you know what, I gotta go get something to eat. And this is what I want people to visualize what you doing as a 450-pound brother.
Okay, well, at that size, right? Quite naturally, I didn't want to come to the barbershop. Why?
Mm.
Because I was in pain. Um, just like going to get something to eat, whether I drove in my car and ordered takeout and picked it up and brought it home, or whether I went into a restaurant, then it becomes you have, because of my size, then I have people staring at me. And what's really fun about that is, okay, most of us, when we see people with a walker or a cane and they're coming behind us to come in the door, most of us, I would say, would hold the door open for them. What I experienced for that is people wasn't too nice. They didn't care about you if I had a walker or a cane trying to come in to wherever it was, whether it was a restaurant or a movies or wherever I needed to go, a doctor's office, wherever. People was just not that nice. And
Wow.
the way I was feeling is I had a lot of, I want to say, in the pain and depression, because you got to remember I'm dealing with severe pain and severe depression. And basically, I was one of those people like my 600-pound life.
Mm,
I just wasn't 600 pounds yet.
mm,
But I believe at one point that I was 500 something pounds.
mm.
What I just have on record is the 455. So we're talking about a guy that I can't get up and do my basic activities. Like, it's hard to get up and go take a shower. It's hard to go sit down and use the bathroom because of my knees. It was hard for me to do a lot of things. Walking around. I was just trying to walk around. I was in pain. I couldn't really, by the time I walked from my house and got to the car, I'm already dripping down, pouring down sweat because
Wow.
that's how bad I was in pain. And so when you're in that type of position like that, nothing's really fun. And you try to take what people saying to you, but they didn't really understand. I try to tell people about my pain. I try to make them aware, like, look, I'm hurting. But all I kept getting is you're not trying hard enough,
Mm.
or you should do this, or you should do that. Well, I had to find what would work for me, but it took time to get there.
What were some of the things you were eating at that period of time?
I was eating a lot of fast food because you got to remember when out the house and get into the car, I'm not trying to get out my car to go into any restaurant. So what I did is I would go and pick up the fastest thing I could get, which what is normally that, a Burger King, a McDonald's, a Wendy's, pretty much anything I don't have to get out of my car. Chick-fil-A, I don't have to get out of my car to get that. I can just pull up to the one and pick that up and go about my business. At some point, they did have at some of the restaurants back before the pandemic even started, they did have some places where you could call ahead and they would do the curbside service. But there wasn't, at that point in time, there was not a whole lot of places like that.
Mm.
And myself, I wasn't really physically able to do a lot of cooking myself, and my wife worked. She's at work and she's not getting home till maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go pick up food for the both of us, and it definitely wasn't healthy.
What during this period also, like, how did your wife feel? Like, what was her role in maybe trying to help you curb some of your thoughts? What was that how was your marriage during that situation of you being almost, I'm just going to say 450, 500 pounds? What was the state of your wife's mind and your mind and your marriage during that whole scenario of you being overweight and being physically challenged with your knees?
Very, very. I want to say things were rocky there because, like I said, my wife was she would bring me information to try to help me, but I wasn't in the place to receive it. And when you're not in a place to receive it, you're just not gonna. I don't care who gives you the information. You're just not ready to receive it. Um, Also, I want to say the what she said to me was, and she just recently reminded me that because of my eating habits and I was unwilling to change them really that way, she had made it up in her mind, well, he's just gonna kill himself.
Mm.
And he's just gonna kill himself and there's nothing I can do about it. So she had tried to help. So what she had said to me is, I was just gonna let you do whatever you was gonna do, and then just collect the insurance money and go on about life, because she loved me, but it was just a lot of things that she was trying to tell me or whatever, I just couldn't hear it, but I was not in the place where I could receive it.
Right.
And I think a lot of times that, people like myself who have been that big, we're not, a lot of times we're not in a place where we can receive the message that someone's trying to get to us. Well, number one, I can tell you how I felt
Hmm.
when people said anything to me about my weight. I always went on the defensive. Why? Because I knew that I needed to do something about my weight, but I didn't want to. I wanted to still eat and drink and do whatever I wanted to do. Why? Because I love food. That's what I told my wife. I love to eat, and I am from the South. I am from Arkansas, so a country boy, I guess you could say. So I was used to country cooking, but when, like I said, when you're in that type of the pain and depression, there is no going in the kitchen doing too much cooking yourself. So really, um, it took a lot of prayer and patience on her behalf. I'm just thankful to the Lord that my wife stuck it out with me, because I truly believe that if it probably would have been any other woman, they probably would have left, because they wouldn't want to deal with that. Wouldn't want to watch me, basically kill myself by eating all this food and drinking all the wrong stuff.
So okay, that's crazy. When was it's like enough is enough? When was the changing point where you said, or somebody said, listen, this is, you either gonna have to make changes or this is what's gonna happen? When was the point where you said, I've had this has got to stop?
On this particular journey right here, my wife, she was going to work, and like I said, my son, he was gone on to Job Corps, AmeriCorps, so I was home alone. The one day I was hurting so bad, laying in my bed, crying and everything, in pain, and because the way a lot of people treated me, um, like I said, the depression. I mean, they said some nasty things to me, and so I looked over at my pain pill bottle, which I was taking hydrocodone 10s at the time.
What is, I
And
don't
I
know what
said,
that, I don't know what that is. What does that help do? What hydrocodone? What?
that is very strong pain medication for to help with the pain that I was having from the arthritis.
And I'm sure it's addictive.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And what people don't know is when you take those painkillers for a long period of time like that, those also cause you to be depressed. They also made me hurt worse. It helped with
Okay.
the pain, but it also made me hurt worse. And it also had my blood pressure elevated, not to mention the damage that it's doing to my liver, possibly my kidneys, and the rest of my organs. Um, so I was in that bed crying, right? And I had to use the bathroom. So that means I had to get up, which was painful,
Right.
because trust me, just I'm just trying to paint you a picture here. Just imagine being in that type of pain and depression, being that big at 455 pounds. My bathroom is right by, pretty much I would sleep on the side where the bathroom is closest, right? But just getting up to walk in there to use the bathroom was painful. I didn't want to have to do that, but I had to. So I went in, and I'm in tears, and I used the bathroom, and um, I turned around there in the mirror to wash my hands. And while I was standing there in the mirror, I said to myself, I said, Mantel, I don't know how we gonna do it, but we gonna get back to 276 pounds. Why I picked the number 276, I don't know. But it was like from that point on, it was like a switch went off.
Mm.
And like I said, I had the walker, and all that I could do at first was go out my garage, walk around the cul-de-sac, and come back in. That was my exercise for the day.
Mm.
And that's what I did for a very long period of time until it opened up where I was able to do other stuff.
Okay. So the switch went off, right?
Yes.
When the switch went off and you said, this is the weight that I want to get down to, was there anybody that, what, at what point when the switch went off, what did you do about the foods? Like, you knew you couldn't go in the kitchen and really cook. So what did you do to allocate certain foods that you were going to get rid of? Did you say, I'm going to get rid of this, I'm going to eat this way? What was the direction that you were going in as far as to help you on the path that you were on to get to this 277? What did you deliberately do off the rip?
So, well, one of the things I would say that my wife actually did for me, or for us actually, is she bought these meals that were, I guess you can say, pre-made, where they ship it to you in the mail or whatever. They're fat burning meals, pretty much. And so, between me doing a shake and having these fat burning meals, I was having maybe one or two of those a day. They're very, 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 very small meals. I had got used to eating. At that point, I had got used to eating smaller portions because of simple fact I was doing like basically like meal replacement shakes, right?
Right.
But on the outside of doing meal replacement shakes, I didn't know anything really about nutrition or how I go. I just know do these meal replacement shakes, try to eat something healthy, and then have some healthy snacks in there.
Okay.
And the changes there was I definitely backed away from the soda because I was one of the ones who I consumed a lot of soda, like a pitcher there. Instead of waking up and grabbing water in the morning, I would go to the kitchen and grab 2 liters soda.
Jesus.
Then I'm sitting on the couch drinking a 2 liter soda just straight out the bottle. I was also one of the person that would, when I order pizza, right, and nobody else here but me, I order a pizza, I might eat half or the whole pizza myself, which is way too much. What was way too much food. I want to say I had no discipline in there. No, I didn't know anything about moderation. Period. It's just whatever I wanted to intake, I took it. But definitely somewhere in there, I started making small changes.
So,
And
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
and the small changes was like I said, doing the shakes, doing those fat burning meals, backing away from soda, trying not to eat too many sweets. Definitely, I was a person that wanted to stay up all night and watch TV. That's where I believe a lot of my late night snacking and stuff came in. Because quite naturally, when we just sit in front of the TV, watch TV, it makes you want to grab up snacks and eat.
Right.
And so I had to break myself away from that. But
okay, so my bad. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Al.
So once you started making your way to changing your diet, what was the first time you seen some weight come off your body? You was like, when you weighed yourself, how often would you weigh yourself every week? And when was the first time you said, damn, man, I lost 3 pounds, 4 pounds, or 5 pounds? What did that feel like? And when was the first time you saw that you lost some weight?
Okay. So let me back up just a little bit. So the way it went from me is December 2018. I decided that I didn't want to really be on the pain medication, hydrocodones, and I didn't really want to be on the anti-inflammatories, and I didn't want to be on the muscle relaxers anymore. So I made a choice to become a medical marijuana patient. which when I became a medical marijuana patient, what that did for me was it got me off the pain medication. It got me off the muscle relaxers and also the anti-inflammatory. It also helped with the pain and the depression. And it also helped with me bringing my weight down. Now, once I started that, then my wife, she gave me a poke and was like, hey, remember you said you was going to get back into the gym and all that. And that probably was in June of, I want to say maybe 2019 or somewhere in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided, or maybe it was May, I decided to go back to the gym. Well, that day, before I went back to the gym, I was like, well, let me get my scale and let me see where I'm at. And so by that time, when I had took my weight, I stepped on the scale at the store because I had to go get a battery for it. And at the store, when I stepped on the scale, it actually said I was like I want to say maybe 424. So I had most definitely dropped some weight since that time that I had been on the medical marijuana and like switched some of my eating habits. And by my wife saying, hey, then you say you was going to go back to the gym and get another shot since now you're on your new medication. I said, well, yeah, well, let me do that. And in the pain and depression, my cousin, God bless his soul, he just passed away last year on September the 3rd. He was really my swim coach because he the one talked to me about when I was in all the pain and depression, and he was in my ear. And what he kept saying to me, he's like, cuz I know you're in pain and everything. He's like, but when you can find out how to get out of some of that pain, go over there and get in the pool. He's like, I'm telling you, that will help you if you go over there and just go swimming. Then he told me also to look up the Olympic swimmers. You know, he's like, look at their bodies and look at somehow what they do. So I took him at his word, and that's how I started that process. Like I said, I was at 424 pounds, and I started going swimming, but I had already been working on changing my eating.
Okay. So now you starting to dial into what you have to do. The the medical marijuana is working. It's taking the pain away. You're changing your diet up some. You dropped a little bit of weight. You went from 450, so you lost almost 25, 30 pounds. Your cousin said, hey man, you might want to start doing some swimming. So those that don't know, since then I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. So those that don't know Mantell is he's an avid swimmer. Now he's an avid swimmer. This guy will do videos in the pool. I mean, he loves swimming, and that was one of his ways. I think that a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people that get into, I was telling Mantell this the other day, like a lot of people that get into accidents, car accidents, or they become physically challenged, or they immobile, they use water to help the physical therapy. So Mantell, you're swimming now. You become an avid swimmer. What made you like swimming when you started doing it?
Well, one of the first things swimming did for me is it didn't make me hurt, because prior to that, I had tried to do like aquafit class. Well, aquafit class, even though it's in the water, you know, doing the bouncing around in the water and everything, when I would get done with aquafit class, I would be hurting. And so I said, well, maybe it's best if I swim. Um, since swimming, it didn't make me hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And let's remember, you know, here's a guy at 424 pounds or whatever, right? And most of all my muscles and my mobility was pretty much shot because I was at home sitting. So once I was able to get to the pool and start, I want to say, I started off where I was maybe doing maybe only 3 days a week in there. I go swimming one day, take the next day off, but I stay consistent with that. There were days where I would swim and I would get done swimming, and then I would be at the end of the pool there with my head down crying because I told myself, I said, Mantell, just imagine where we'll be if you just keep going. I just need you to keep going, okay? This whatever it takes for us to get there, let's do it. And so I just kept going swimming. It went from 3 days to eventually 4 to 5 to 6.
What was interesting about Mantell's swimming endeavors? Like, this cat really be swimming. Like, it ain't something that he just saying. Like, I think for when you trying to get on a physical journey, a lot of people say this: "Hey, man, I don't want to go to the gym because I feel embarrassed," or I'd rather do a walk around the house, or I'd rather walk around my neighborhood. Whatever you choose, this is what I'm letting people know, because I am a certified physical trainer, personal trainer, and I'm also a certified nutritionist. What people don't understand, you got to do what makes you happy and what makes you comfortable when you're trying to be on the losing weight or to get in better shape as an individual. If you're overwhelmed by an influx of people at a gym, then don't go to a gym. Go somewhere where you can go to like a small gym where it's not that many people. If you feel comfortable or walking around your neighborhood or doing something around your neighborhood, do that. If you feel comfortable going to a park, if you feel comfortable with doing something like Mantell does, swimming. This cat has really turned into a mini Michael Phelps. Like, to be able to find your niche, to be able to say, hey, this helps me with my pain, this helps me with losing weight, and this is something that I love, is what I like about this cat, because he found what's best for him. Nobody was telling him, you need to do this, you need to do that. He found what works for him. And swimming is his thing now. Like I tell him, that he be on Facebook Live and he'll record himself in the pool, no matter what the circumstances was, and that's what drove him to what I seen. So, Mantell, when you started becoming an avid swimmer, when did you start seeing some more reduction in your weight?
Oh, it seemed like that happens to start happening, I want to say pretty much right away, because I had already, like I said, with my eating, I was already eating smaller portions of food, right? And so by me going swimming, quite naturally, I was much bigger. So I didn't know how many calories I was burning. And when I first started going swimming, I was swimming at least, let's say, about anywhere from about 5 or 6 hours. Okay.
Damn.
Because I was over there just in the pool. It kept me away from home, being on the couch. But like I said, what I found out about swimming is it made me happy. It made me not hurt. So yeah, I'm gonna love to go over here and do this every day. And when I start having success and I started losing, 5 pounds here or 10 pounds here or 15 pounds here, I was like, well, swimming is it for me. I was like, and for a long period there, that's all I was doing was swimming. Swimming opened it up where I could eventually go do weights and go do the battle ropes and go do other things. But first, I had to recondition and strengthen my muscles and everything that had been weak just from me not just sitting around and not moving. So swimming is awesome.
I see all the time. Like, man, this cat over here, this is Aquaman. But at this point, like when you're losing the weight, it's dropping off. You're dialing into what you like. what you want to happen? When did you realize you surpassed what your initial goal was of 277? When did you know, hey, I didn't went past that. I didn't surpass that, and unconsciously didn't know until you weighed yourself.
So, well, all through my journey, I was pretty much keeping track of my weight. Now, what I was doing was I would work out or do swimming for about 3 weeks or so, and then I would weigh myself. I was giving myself time because I knew I don't want to just work out for a week and then go hop on the scale. So I gave myself about 3 weeks, and then I would go weigh. Well, in those 3 weeks, I stayed pretty much consistent, so I would get the results that I was looking for. Now, the two getting to the 276, um, if memory serves me correctly, I think that happened sometime around my birthday, but um, just the I want to say just staying consistent with it, and then checking my weight, but not getting obsessed with checking my weight, because I know it's really crazy how it worked. I didn't put the weight on overnight, so it's not gonna come off overnight. I
Say
knew it
that
was
one more
going.
time. Say that one more time, man. Tell people need
I
to
didn't
say that
put the
clear.
weight on overnight, and it's not gonna come off overnight. I just knew it was gonna take me some time to get to where I was trying to get to. And so I just kept chipping away at it. And I got down to, I hit my 276, and then I called out, I want to get to 255. And then I said 250. And right now I'm calling out to 235, because that's where I want to get to. But that's how I did that is I spoke it into existence. I put it out there. I said, I want to get to 255. Well, I was willing to, this was another thing. In the time period that I was swimming, in the beginning, I was going, I want to say in the afternoon, not so much in the morning. But then my cousin, the one that told me about swimming, what he said, you ever notice the athletes, basketball players, think that they normally get up and go work out early in the morning. And
Early in the
so
morning.
he was like, if you go early in the morning, he told me you're probably gonna see even better results. So me once again listening to my big cuz, I started going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Sheesh.
And when I did that, going to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, eating early on in the day and eating smaller portions of food, then I really started to have some major success there. I was like, okay, this works for me.
When did you put away the walker? Like, when did you say when was the walker no more a part of your life? Like you said, I don't need this no more.
So I want to say when I got down to, let's say, this time when I got down to about 265, I noticed for myself, because I have people always saying, hey, you don't need the walker. Why do you have that? Well, people don't know when you have needs of a 90-year-old man, right? Places that I go, even now, even though things have gotten better, a lot of chairs, couches, when you go to a restaurant, their chairs, a lot of things are low. So what my walker actually did for me was give me a place to sit down that wasn't going to be hard for me to get up and down off of, right?
Right.
And so, but when I want to say when things really changed was I was at the gym, and I just decided, you know what? Tomorrow when I come in here, I'm not gonna come in here with the walker. I want to see how I'm fare without having my walker. Well,
Right.
I put the walker down. I actually left it in the car, and I went in the gym, and I went in there and I did my weights, and I did battle ropes, and then I went swimming. And I was like, well, thank you, Lord. I don't need the walker anymore. It's game time now.
Right.
And that was a amazing feeling because I had been stuck with the walker for a long period of time.
Um, when you started losing the weight, did the depression go, and how did that help your relationship with your wife?
So, okay, yes. When I started dropping the weight and staying consistent with the swimming and the working out itself helped because we know well, not everyone, but we know as we go work out and we're working out, our bodies releases endorphins, which helps with the pain and to make you happy. So because I was going to work out and also because I was using my medical marijuana because one of my friends, what she picked up off right away when I got on the medical marijuana was she said, "Bro, you sound totally different. You sound more happy and everything." I was like, "Yeah, because I'm not hurting in pain."
Mm.
And when you're able to get up and start doing things and not be in pain, which is what the lady had explained to me at the doctor's office about that, right? When
Mm-hmm.
you start using the medical marijuana, it's going to motivate you. You're going to want to do more stuff because you're not going to no longer be hurting in pain. And that's exactly what happened. I went from being into a lot of pain to my pain and everything started decreasing. Depression was coming down. Everything was started going good. And because my wife seen me trying.
Mm.
So things between her and me got better because she seen that I was trying and I was trying to do the right thing. Now, when I first got on the medical marijuana, her concern was, um, okay, babe, you're already, 400 some pounds. And we know that the marijuana gives you the munchies, right? So
Right.
what I did to combat that is before I even smoked it or vaped it, whatever I was gonna do, I would eat first. What that did, that killed the munchies. And
Wow.
so when I after I if I did get the munchies, what I did is I didn't go in there and grab cakes, cookies, and pies. I went in there and grabbed me some fruit or vegetables in place of that. Because
Right.
the whole time I kept saying, uh, I want to say at that point in time, maybe I was maybe about I'm 46 now, so maybe I was about 42 or 43. But what I kept saying myself, man, till we's got if I already have knees of a 90-year-old man with severe arthritis, I gotta get pressure off of these knees before I turn 50.
Right.
So yeah, things definitely got better between me and my wife because she's seen a lot of changes. As a matter of fact, she at one point she said you was just obsessed with swimming. I
And
was
that you
like,
are.
yes. Yeah.
That you are.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to now. Like, let me
Okay.
tell y'all this. It didn't dawn on me, man, until like I didn't notice right away that you didn't have the walker. I didn't notice when you came in the shop you didn't have the walker. I think one day you were leaving. I was like, man, he don't got the walker no more. And I saw you really you moving. I'm like, it made me. You know what's crazy? I get inspired by seeing somebody else triumph over what most people would shy away from. And when I seen you, because you got to remember, I seen from the beginning the beginning of when I started seeing you come in the shop to now. So when I realized that, I was happy for you, bro. And I think I told Chris, I was like, man, I'm happy for it. I'm genuinely, sincerely happy for you winning at the battle. Because having excessive amount of weight, being a foodie, just that can be a tremendous battle that people don't understand. That's like a drug. So understanding that, when I seen you, I had I had the utmost respect for what you were accomplishing, because I seen your knees, I seen how slow you were walking in, I seen what you came from. So in knowing that, I was really, 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 really happy for you, man. And I want you to know that. I don't know if I never told you, but I was extremely excited for you. I was extremely happy for you, and I was extremely proud. So tell these people right now, what's your plans as where you at right now? Tell them where you at right now, how much weight you lost, what are your plans, and how do you keep focused? Before we get out of here, tell these people how much weight you lost, what's your plans, and how do you stay focused on continue to get to where you want to be?
So right now, currently, I have lost 211 pounds because I'm at
Hold on,
244.2.
man.
Um,
Say that. Hold on, man. Hold that. Say that one more time. Say it slow so these people can understand.
I
You
have
lost how
lost
much?
211 pounds. I am at 200. I'm at 200, 244.2 right now.
Wow.
Um, the plan is my goal is to get to 200. So when I get to 200, I would have lost 255 pounds. Um, Now, what I want to say, what I didn't know was coming in this journey. It seems like I got drafted for it. The Lord brought it to me was um, I once I started having the type of success that I had, right? I then because I seen you posting on Facebook and I seen the school that you went to. So I want you to know that you was an encouraging, inspiring me because I was like, I'm gonna go to the same school Dre went to get certified. So when I called the to check into it, the guy name was Gary, and I got
Okay.
on there, and I wasn't sure at first. I said, "Man, listen, I'm a physically challenged person. I don't know if they even have physically challenged personal trainers. I don't know if this is for me." But when I shared with him my story, he said, "Man, tell what you waiting for, bro. We need people like you. You
Mm.
have an amazing story." He said, "So come on and sign up." So I signed up and I went through. And so now myself, I am a fitness coach and personal trainer, nutritionist myself. I'm just
Wow.
physically challenged.
Stop
I
saying that,
and
man. I hate when you say that, man. I get mad at you when you say that, man. I
okay.
don't like that.
But what I want to say, what makes me different from most trainers is I've been 400 pounds plus twice. The first time I was 412 pounds. I got down to 269. So I lost 143 pounds. But back then I was going to Planet Fitness, walking on the treadmill. So I end up doing more damage to my knees, right?
Mhm.
That's what caused me to have the severe pain and go into the severe depression because I gained all my weight back plus more. And then it was like, how are we gonna get it off now? Because now you're injured even more than what you was the first time. And
Mm.
so now that I'm having a type of success and I am what I am, eventually I hope to be able to get my business up and started. And I want to be able to help other people like myself, um, whether, like you said, accidents or just the weight loss in general, because it's really it's hard, but it can be done. I just decided that I wasn't gonna make no excuses because my life was on the line,
Oof.
and so I just put forth the best effort and I just keep going. I mean, and sure, I have setbacks just like anybody else. But what I don't do is I don't beat myself up about the setbacks. I try to learn from them and correct and then keep moving forward. And so I just want to be able to motivate and inspire people to get up, go exercise, change your diet, change your eating. If you're a believer, Put the
Mm.
Lord first. Trust in Him, because we can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthen us. So, also, greater than He is in me than in the world.
Mm.
So it can be done. We just have to take the approach like I told you earlier. We didn't put the weight on overnight, so it ain't gonna come off overnight. It's a long term goal, and even when I get to 200 pounds, I'm still gonna have to work. It don't stop. The mission don't stop. I still gotta get up and go work out. I still gotta maintain my eating.
It's a life. It's see, people don't understand, man. I hate the word diet, but people need to understand this is something that you're gonna do for the rest of your life. The way you were eating at the beginning stages of your life, the way you didn't think about it like that, you just was eating. This is the same way when you're on this path, you're on this journey, you're on this way of physical fitness and being healthy. This is for the rest of your life if you're really serious about this. So it don't stop. It's not something that you should say, "Oh, I've gotten to a certain weight. I don't need to do this anymore." Nah, because if you think that you can go back to where you were and still maintain where you're at, you're sadly mistaken. So this is going to be with you until you leave this earth if you're serious about it. And man, listen, to have somebody that feels like they're physically challenged. The thing that I tell Mantel is this. I tell them this all the time. When you have somebody such as him that has been a certain amount of weight and they've gotten to a place where they saying, "Hey, listen, I've lost this weight." This is the type of person that somebody wants to be trained by, because it's like you can see where they come from. This man has come from being on a walker to being, where he was feeling depressed and all these things, to the point where he's an avid swimmer. He's now as a personal trainer. Come on, man. If that's not inspiring to anybody, if you're sitting at home watching this podcast, you're like, man, you're a certain weight. Stop thinking about it, because if Mantel can do what he did under the circumstances that he had, there's no excuses. There is no excuses. I see people on Instagram who's been in car accidents that when you see them trying to walk and you see them maybe a little wobbly, but they're trying to learn how to walk again, man, that is so inspiring. So to see this man go from literally being on a walker, taking at least 45 to 50 seconds to get to the barber chair, and to see him damn near skipping to the chair when it comes to the door, man, if you're not inspired, you dead inside. And that's just how I feel. You have to find some inspiration from something to get to where you want to be. And Mantel, I would think that anybody who falls underneath of his tutelage of training and helping them get, man, you're gonna find a good person. You're gonna find a well knowledgeable about where he's been, and it's gonna bring you insight on where you need to be, because he is the journey. And I'm not just saying it because I tell him. He know that I tell him this all the time. So if you can't find inspiration from this man, I don't know where the inspiration is gonna come. And on our way out, man, I want you to tell the people, outside of the personal training, outside of having a good wife, outside of losing all this weight, outside of being the Michael Phelps of just people who've lost weight, what else do you have on a plate that you are becoming, so people can know? I want you to say your social media platform. I want you to say all before we get out of here, so people can know where to find what you're doing and who you are as a person.
Well, on Facebook, right now it's just Mantel Johnson. You can go on there and look me up and friend request me if you like, or follow. Basically the same thing on Instagram. I'm in the process of writing a book right now to tell my story. And basically, I'm a motivational speaker because I just got on here and shared my story with you all. And I know I inspired and motivated somebody out there. And so my saying is always, hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. Um, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm just really looking forward to being trying to help others, serve others and help them who have weight issues, because I feel like if we get the weight off of us, that's gonna fix a lot of the health ailments that we have. Because I'm almost about to get taken off my blood pressure and my cholesterol medicine. Maybe the next time I go to the doctor, he might have to pull me off of that. So I just also want to take the time too, Dre, to personally thank you, because you seen when I came to you, you could have easily turned me away and not helped me, but you seen me trying.
Yeah.
And I have always heard people say, when people see you trying, they'll be more willing to help you. But in today's culture and society that we live in, a lot of times when we see other brothers trying, we're not willing to help them, or we want to charge them an arm and a leg. When, well, sometimes you don't need to charge people an arm and a leg. Sometimes why can't it just be, hey, I want to see this person live. I want to see them be around. So give them the help,
Right.
And you helped me. So I'm very thankful to the Lord, and God bless you for that. Even putting me on your podcast. You don't know how much you mean to me, brother. And I hope once I get things set up, and maybe you can even help me do that, is maybe we can work together. Because I feel like I have made a friend, a true friend with you, because you have been so willing and to help me and listen to what I have to say. So thank you, man. God bless you, man. And I pray that he blesses whatever ventures you take in life. I hope you prosper in it, bro.
Man, I really appreciate that. That means a whole lot to me, man, for real. That does. And we are a friend. You are my friend for life, man. And I want to see you, bro. If when the day comes where I see you training a bunch of people, man, that's gonna be a sight to behold, for real, man. See you coming from where you came from, man, and you training people and you inspiring people. That would be incredible, man. But before we get out of here, what else are you? There's one more thing you ain't mentioned that you're trying, that you working your way up to doing, man. So I want people to know something. If you can speak on it just quickly, that you trying to get into. You know what I'm talking about?
You might have to refresh me a little bit.
Becoming a
motivation speaker.
The with the church.
Oh, so I just recently, I want to say back in November, my pastor, before me and my wife went out of town and was up north for Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that, my pastor, I'm a deacon in development now. And
That's
so
great.
Eventually I will become a full-fledged deacon at some point. I have to make my walk for a year. So I'm just praying and everything goes well with that. Even with that, that's a calling. And like I said, it seems like I just got drafted for things, drafted into being a coach, and drafted into being the deacon. But I'm ready. I'm ready to serve, and I'm ready to help others, because I want to see other people be around. And if we can get that weight up off you and some of them health issues go away, then that's going to be awesome.
And I that's why I respect him. That's why I was no cursing on the show, because I'm sometimes to get your point across. You gotta add that extra oomph, man. I know my brother's into the church, so I wasn't gonna disrespect where his movement is, and I want him to be able to show this podcast video of him to people that respect him, whether it be in the church or outside the church, and they can see him in a good light. So I didn't put none of my spin on it. And I'm just real proud for him to be able to show who he is and where he come from and who he's becoming as a person. One more quick time. I want you to like, subscribe, and comment. And my social media platforms is on IG is positive 1150. On TikTok it's positive 1150. And on Facebook is Dre Morset. And my podcast is called the Dre Morset Podcast. I really want you to be invested in what I'm trying to do. So like, subscribe, and comment. And Mantell, tell them where the people can see you at one more time.
Can see me at Mantell Johnson or on Facebook and Johnson Mantell on Instagram.
I'm so happy again to have this brother on my show, man. I hope to God, I hope that this touches somebody who is sitting around figuring out what can they do to motivate themselves and to get themselves to the place that they want to be or where they used to be. And I hope Mantell has done that job for you guys. I really, really appreciate you, Mantell, for being on my show. This has been a great episode. Again, I want everybody to like, subscribe, and comment. And this is just one of the many shows that will continue to inspire people on my podcast. I really appreciate every subscriber. I appreciate, again, all the comments. And let's keep bringing it on. Let's make this show something positive that you can spread throughout people you know and make this show big on the Dre Morset podcast. Thank you so much. And Mantell.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.